Lack of awareness combined with a lack of ability to jump. Not great. Bang!
Me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow.
Yeah! Again. Do it for me. Me bound. Bang!
Chicago Sky, you quit. You quit. You threw in the towel. Once you realize you no longer, you never stood a chance, to be honest, with Caitlin Clark for that Rookie of the Year. But once you realize your double streak was over, and it was over. She took over post-Olympic break. Once you realized it was done, you threw in the towel, said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year. You threw in the towel and said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year and didn't play again. This past the inaugural season of Unrivaled, you didn't even finish that season. You didn't even show up for the championship. No, not only did you not play, you didn't even show up to the game at all. People noticing a pattern with you. That's 2 seasons in a row.
I think we've shown all season long, like, they're resilient, they're connected. They pull for each other. They enjoy one another. They celebrate one another, and that stuff alone is good for 10 to 12 points a game. And for this group, the way that they share the ball, how unselfish they are. I mean, I'm really proud of them. It's not been ideal circumstances all season long, but they've shown the character of who they are. They've been resilient. They've responded to adversity, and they continue to elevate one another. And I couldn't be more proud of this group than I am.
Angel Reese is day-to-day again. But if you've been watching her career, you already know what that code means. Last year, a so-called season-ending wrist injury. This year, a mysterious back problem that just happens to pop up while the Chicago Sky are playing better without her. And on the other side, Caitlin Clark is still smashing records, even sitting out with a legit groin injury. Still courtside, still backing her squad, while the Fever push for the playoffs. So, is Reese actually hurt? Or is this the most predictable disappearing act in WNBA history?
I think Angel Reese, and I'm saying this with my chest out, I think she's quit on the Chicago Sky. She's been claiming a back injury basically since the All-Star break. And there's no details. Every day we hear that Angel Reese is day-to-day. And every week there's no update on what she's struggling with, what she's doing. There's nothing. There's no information about Angel Reese. I think she's quit on this season. I think this is a worse version than Kawhi Leonard.
Angel Reese is day-to-day again, and fans could practically recite the script at this point. It's the same vague updates.
And how did she end up humiliated after fans caught her bailing on her own team? If you're convinced this is just another Reese PR play, drop "Fire the Baby Giraffe" in the comments. Let's talk. It's the same old pattern with Reese. Vague updates, vanishing from the lineup, and the timing always lining up when Chicago's in trouble. We've seen this show before, and the reruns are getting old. Last season, it was serious wrist surgery, framed as necessary to avoid arthritis before she even hit her mid-20s. Boom, her season was over. No grind to get back, no last push to finish strong. Just gone. And now, the sequel nobody asked for. A shadowy back injury with no real timetable and zero specifics. It shows up smack in the middle of another ugly stretch for the Sky. You can literally line up the schedule. Losses stack up, pressure builds for her to change the game. And suddenly, she's not even in uniform. She's not even on the bench. At this point, you can practically set your watch to when her day-to-day magically turns into an indefinite leave.
Once they lost Vandersloot, their point guard, early in the year, and once they started getting their brains beat in, hey, we're not gonna win anything this year. I'm not putting these L's on my resume. I'm going to have an excuse for the Chicago Sky potentially coming in with the worst or second worst record in the WNBA. These losses will not be on my resume.
And here's the kicker. She didn't even bother to travel to Indianapolis for a game against the Fever, the marquee matchup the league loves to hype up as one of its biggest moneymakers. This is the WNBA's self-declared it girl, ducking out on the hottest rivalry of the season. But let's rewind just a few weeks. There she was in Indiana for the All-Star game, cheesing for the cameras, soaking up the spotlight, and even pulling that stunt where she bragged about taking over Caitlin Clark's tunnel. So the back's fine for grabbing headlines, but not for actually facing Clark on the court? Interesting. Makes you wonder, is this about protecting the brand from another public meltdown? Is it about avoiding those games where the box score might expose her? The whispers aren't kind. Commentators are already hinting she shut it down for the year.
Bruh, you gotta remember, she quit in Unrivaled. She just stopped playing in Unrivaled. Said she was hurt, didn't show up for the championship game, didn't even show up and watch. Last season, she claimed her wrist was messed up, didn't finish playing in none of the games. Now, this year, she's saying this season, it's her back. It looked like she's not finishing playing in none of the games. The Sky needs you. The Chicago Sky, you guys are the gum on the bottom of the shoe of the league. They need Angel Reese to play in games. Angel, where you at? Where are you at, Angel?
Some aren't even hinting. They're flat out saying, she quit. 2 seasons, 2 injuries, each one hitting right when her game's looking shaky, each one wiping out the chance to prove she can push through a losing stretch and still be valuable. Line those timelines up and you don't just see bad luck, you see a pattern. And here's the part that really burns. The second she's off the floor, the Sky suddenly look like a real team again. That's when this whole thing shifts from suspicious to downright wild. That's 2 years straight where Chicago's win-loss column tells a very different story than their marketing does. Angel Reese, for someone the team pushes as their franchise face, the results tell a completely different story. The truth? Chicago actually racks up a better record when she's not even on the floor. And this isn't some tiny cherry-picked stat.
Reese! She might have tapped out, y'all. Angel Reese may have tapped out and quit on the Chicago Sky. Everybody is speculating. What is this back injury? What's going on? Hey, are you trying to pretend like you hurt because Caitlin Clark really is hurt? Wait, what's going on?
The stretches without her are when the Sky finally string wins together and dodge the sloppy, self-inflicted losses that keep them stuck near the bottom. Not exactly what you want from your so-called cornerstone player. Just look at what happened when Chicago faced Indiana without Caitlin Clark. Everybody thought the Fever would crumble with their leader out. Instead, Lexi Hull stepped up, dropped 17 points, posted a plus 22, and Indiana smoked the Sky. And this is the same Sky squad that can't buy a win against Indiana this season. Doesn't matter who's in uniform. Hull, Boston, Mitchell, Cunningham.
Seen her back as an excuse to sit out because she doesn't really care about basketball. I think she looks over at Caitlin Clark and says, hey, Caitlin Clark is out with a legitimate injury. I proved my point before the All-Star game when I went on a 10-game run trying to justify being on the All-Star team. When that first ballot came out, when the first voting results came out about the All-Star game and I was 13th, holy cow, Angel Reese panicked, started playing hard, tried to put up some stats to justify being on the All-Star team, did that, and now she said, hey, the Chicago...
They all played their role, trusted the flow, and didn't force the game. Nobody was out there jacking bad shots just to keep a brand alive. That's the thing about team chemistry. It's not rocket science. You either have players who make everyone better, or you've got players who clog everything up. And when Reese is sidelined, the ball moves. Chicago's offense actually breathes. No waiting around for her to post up out of position. No guards stuck force-feeding her while the clock dies. Instead, the wings cut hard, the guards run real sets, and shots come from clean looks. Not desperation heaves as the buzzer screams. It's the classic addition by subtraction play, and the irony's impossible to ignore. Imagine taking out your so-called best player, and suddenly the whole squad's energy shoots through the roof. Analysts are even pointing to the extra spacing, the faster pace, and yes, even the bench looks more alive when she's not out there clogging things up. Coaches won't say it outright, but the hints are loud. The team moves with more urgency when every possession isn't being force-fed through one ego.
New strategy, team. Angel, keep doing your part. Everyone else, go rebound her misses. If she keeps missing layups at this rate, she's gonna be serving buttermilk pancakes at Denny's. Butter? Did somebody say butter? Butter pecan! Burn! At a certain point, you just gotta applaud greatness. A me bound on her back? Are you kidding? Bang! Simon says, give me another pray-up. How about it? Bang! She really hit under the basket on a layup. Get this girl GPS. Bang! Everybody get up on your feet. It's time to meet and greet the most underpaid athlete. Bang!
That's where the biggest hoax in WNBA history tag starts to fit like a glove. A real star makes you harder to beat, not easier. If you sitting out turns your squad into a tougher matchup, the issue isn't the supporting cast, it's you. And Chicago's cleaner, sharper basketball without her is getting too obvious for any PR spin to cover. Now stack that picture against what's happening in Indiana, and the contrast is brutal. While Reese fades into another round of mystery injury updates, Caitlin Clark is out there changing the game just by showing up. Even with a legit groin injury, she's still present, in the arena, in uniform when she can be, locked in with her teammates, and taking time for fans.
Do not understand is that coaches, and I know the WNBA in some regards isn't a real sports league, and I don't know if they think like real coaches and real people in sports, but the number one ability is availability. If you're not available, you have.
And here's the stat line for you. 16.5 points, nearly 9 assists a night, and leading the entire league in assists per game. That's elite for a fully healthy player. But she's doing it while hurt. While Caitlin Clark's out here running the show, even at less than 100%, Angel Reese's storyline feels like a rerun we've all seen too many times. And every time, the ending looks the same. She's off the court, the sky get better, and the PR machine scrambles to convince everyone it's just bad luck. But the numbers don't lie. Chicago's offense runs smoother without her. The defense rotates faster. The ball finds the open shooter instead of dying in a forced post-up. That's not a coincidence. That's a system working the way it's supposed to when the pieces actually fit.
Williams gonna have to hurry off the dribble, rolls out. Oh, open three. Oh, what a sight for Alexi Hall. She has needed that one to drop.
Alexi Hall catching fire.
Now Chicago just needs to get it a little bit more settled here in the half court. Nurse loses it. Mitchell 2-on-1. It's a foot race. Mitchell to Cunningham. Cunningham right there.
Meanwhile, Clark's proving why real stars are different. She's not padding stats or chasing headlines. She's lifting the people around her. You can see it in the way her teammates cut harder, run their lanes, and trust the pass will be there. That's leadership you can't fake, especially when you're playing through pain. So when you stack these two faces of the league side by side, it's night and day. One vanishes when the going gets tough. The other fights to be there even when her own body says stop. And in pro sports, that difference is everything. The uncomfortable truth? Angel Reese's absence is starting to look less like bad luck and more like a calculated dodge. Fans have noticed, analysts have noticed, and now even some players around the league are quietly saying it. She's not built for this grind. Because here's the thing, in the WNBA, you can't hide forever. The film doesn't lie. The box scores don't lie. And when your own team looks more dangerous without you, people start asking questions you can't dance around. Last season, it was a serious wrist surgery that ended things early.
Appears to have a legitimate injury that everybody can trace to a moment and a time during the games where she re-aggravated, she originally injured, she had a comeback where it lasted 2 or 3 games, re-injured it. They've hinted at a time frame of late August that she may return. Nothing but a mystery surrounds.
Now it's a mysterious back problem with no clear timetable. Different year, same script. But while the excuses pile up, Chicago is suddenly proving they can win, as long as she's not the one they're relying on. And every game she sits while Caitlin Clark plays through pain just deepens the gap. Clark's out there grinding, directing traffic, and making her teammates better. Reese, nowhere to be seen. No uniform, No visible support on the bench, just silence until the next vague update drops. At some point, that's not an injury report. That's a reputation.
Yet again, the Indiana Fever face the Chicago Sky, and yet again, we whoop that. Oh boy. 92-70, it was a whole.
Angel Reese's legacy is slipping through her fingers. And the wild part is, she might not even realize it's happening. You can only play the mystery injury card so many times before fans stop buying it and start rewriting your story for you. Right now, that story isn't about a rising star. It's about a player whose team finds its rhythm the moment she's gone. It's about someone more likely to trend for an off-court stunt than a clutch performance in a must-win game. And in the league's biggest rivalry, she's become a no-show. Every missed game against Caitlin Clark is another missed chance to prove she belongs in the conversation with the best.
Human beings. That was one of the things that we made a priority in the offseason of, who we bring into this organization. Number one, quality human beings, selfless human beings that want to pull for one another, that understand. We have this depth for a reason, and sometimes it creates challenges getting people on the floor. But in situations like this is why you have it. And I'm just, she's right. I mean, as a pro and as a pro coach, this is one of the.
And every time Clark suits up hurt, plays through it, and still fills the stat sheet, the gap in perception grows wider. One is a competitor, the other is a question mark. The WNBA moves fast. Today's it girl can be tomorrow's forgotten headline. And if Reese doesn't get back on the court and earn the hype, history's not going to remember her for the swagger, only for the vanishing acts. 2 years in, and the pattern's impossible to miss. Angel Reese shines in photo ops, fades in big games, and somehow manages to disappear just when the spotlight's hottest on the court.
Is the back injury. Everybody's questioning it now, and this will be a third straight season where Angel Reese did not finish playing in games, where she just stopped. Some of these injuries, we saw the injuries. We didn't see what happened. What happened?
You can call it bad timing if you want, but to everyone watching, it's starting to feel like the game itself isn't her priority. Meanwhile, the league she claims to be repping is shifting under her feet. The WNBA's new era is built on players who show up, who grind through the pain, and who put winning above everything. Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Aja Wilson, they're not ducking the smoke, they're chasing it, and fans can see the difference.
Everybody is ablaze right now. Everybody's wondering, what is really going on with Angel Reese? Has she just flat out quit again? Has she quit on the Chicago Sky? Angel, you have to have some level of self-awareness here.
For Chicago, the numbers speak louder than any PR statement. The ball moves better, the defense locks in, and the chemistry clicks when Reese is nowhere near the floor. That's not the resume of a cornerstone. That's the profile of someone who's replaceable. If Reese doesn't flip this script fast, the face of the franchise label won't just be gone, it'll be a punchline. Because in pro sports, there's one thing you can't fake.
We're back home, baby. Let's go. Back in the W column. Well, I got your challenge. That's a big job, baby.
Point guard.
And that's being there when it counts. When Caitlin Clark's on the court, those assists aren't just box score fluff, they're game changers that swing momentum. Her injury hasn't stopped her from rewriting records. And unlike certain players on these endless day-to-day vacations, Clark still rolls with her team. She's on the bench breaking down plays during timeouts, hyping her teammates, and actually staying in the fight whether she's suited up or not. That's commitment you can see, and her team feels every bit of it. The Fever? They're 4-0 against Chicago this season, with or without Clark in uniform. Every matchup, her leadership sets the tone, and it's not just her.
Obviously had to play out of position tonight, kind of filling that point. You had a season high 8 assists. Just how did you try to embrace that for this game and kind of?
Oh man, I haven't played point guard. I was telling the girls I haven't played point guard maybe since college, and so that was different. But I think it I don't know, it brings out the vulnerable side of me, the leadership in which I need to keep getting better at and keep growing at. I think being in this PG position kind of helps with that. And I think I believe in my team, so seeing my assists, go up is just because of these girls. We have an unbelievable chemistry when it comes to, seeing and reading each other, so I think they made me look good tonight.
Aaliyah Boston is locking down the paint like a fortress. Kelsey Mitchell stays a steady scoring machine. Sophie Cunningham brings the kind of toughness that flips games. Lexi Hull delivers clutch minutes, and Natasha Howard adds that veteran backbone every contender needs. This is a roster built in Clark's image. Smart, connected, relentless. She's been vocal about it too, talking about not just chasing one ring, but building something that wins multiple championships.
Nurse loses at Mitchell 2-on-1. It's a foot race. Mitchell to Cunningham. Cunningham right there for 2 more.
And you can see it in how she clicks with her squad. That's why ratings spike when she plays. She's the draw. Sports media's already noted the dip in viewership when she's out. And in brutal contrast, nobody outside Chicago even notices when Angel Reese vanishes. Her absences don't move numbers. Clark's do. Night after night, through injuries, tough losses, and non-stop hype, Clark's there. Reese's disappearing act doesn't just look bad. It makes Clark's reliability shine even brighter.
Obviously, we lost our last 2, but I think, I don't know, that LA one felt good for us because we didn't quit. And then, life happened the other night at the Valley, so we could have looked at it like, oh, woe is me, and, we don't have enough players, and we didn't. So shout out to our group for just staying confident and staying ready because, it's a professional league and we have to be ready and we can't make too many excuses about it because no one's going to hand us anything. So we might as well look at it for what it is and keep.
If this rivalry ever was neck and neck in the marketing game, the reality on the hardwood has blown that idea to pieces. While Angel Reese slips into yet another round of vague injury updates, the Indiana Fever are busy building something real, something that actually works. No drama about who's showing up. No guessing games over whether their star even wants to play. Just a clear plan that's already pushing them forward. And honestly, the contrast with Chicago couldn't be any uglier. The Sky keep chasing their tail. Same problems, same instability, same marketing hype around a player who spends as much time in designer fits on the sidelines as she does in uniform.
Oh, open 3. Oh, what a sight for Lexi Hull. She has needed that one to drop.
Meanwhile, Indiana's front office isn't scrambling for patch jobs. They're stacking players who fit, locking in a core that can win together for years instead of just chasing the next headline. Caitlin Clark's already made it clear. She's here to win multiple championships. And when you watch how this roster is shaping up, it feels like more than talk. You've got Aaliyah Boston, a dominant post force who's only going to keep leveling up.
I mean, you guys are unfortunately kind of familiar with injury updates this season, but I imagine yesterday's was probably pretty tough. Just what's the reaction been from you guys, the players, the coaches, to losing Sid and Ari?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, just brokenhearted for them. They're 2 really good people that you hate to see this happen to. They've been an integral part of what we've been doing, and so hate it for them. Unfortunately, it's part of the deal, and we've got to roll with it. And we've got players in that locker room who believe in one another. Players in that locker room who are as competitive as all get out. We've got versatility, and it's going to have to be on full display. So I think now it's about playing to honor them, right, and playing.
Kelsey Mitchell, a proven scorer who forces defenses to stay honest. Veterans like Natasha Howard and Sophie Cunningham, the kind of leaders young stars need if they want to go deep in the playoffs. And then there's Lexi Hull, doing all the dirty work, hitting big shots, and making hustle plays that don't always hit the highlight reel but win games. That perfect mix of young fire and veteran grit, that's no accident. It's the blueprint for a dynasty in the making. It's more than a roster. It's a blueprint. Caitlin Clark isn't just rewriting records with her playmaking. She's building a system where every player's skill set actually matters. The pace is fast, the execution is sharp, and the results? Pure winning basketball. While teams like Chicago waste their seasons juggling chaos, explaining mysterious absences, and trying to market around uncertainty, The Fever are quietly stacking a core that looks more dangerous every single game. And here's the twist.
Unbelievably proud. I think this is the most resilient team I've ever been a part of, and I say that wholeheartedly. We've had a lot of mishap happen throughout the course of the season. I think throughout the course of it all, we've stayed resilient, and you guys get to see us at our best when we stay together and be resilient. So shout out to my girls tonight, because I think it took everybody. Everyone played a piece, played a role, and I think that's how we got the dub.
Angel Reese's non-stop injury drama might actually be helping Clark. Every time Reese disappears into another round of vague updates, Clark's impact gets thrown into even sharper focus. Fans can see it crystal clear who's really showing up and who's just showing off. They're contributing, they're pushing forward, and they're doing it every single night. If you care about the future of the game, the Fever are the squad to watch. They've got the talent, the plan, and a leader who doesn't vanish when things get tough. So ask yourself, are you riding with the players building a legacy or the ones clinging to a brand? Right now, Indiana's making moves and Chicago's making excuses. The choice couldn't be more obvious. If you believe this is just another Reese PR stunt, drop Fire the Baby Giraffe in the comments, like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss a beat.
Thought about it this time, puts it on the deck. A deflection, bodies flying to the floor. Mitchell controls, 8 to shoot. Mitchell, hesitation in the paint. The floater off the window.
And here is Kelsey Mitchell getting downhill. Little sidestep into the floater.
Pivoting, pirouetting, tough shot, well defended. Mitchell trying to attack Allen. Step back tray. Mitchell buries it.
Click the video on screen. We'll see you in the next one.